On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
If the only example that you have is what she's telling you.
That's the bias that you spoke of earlier, Ashley. You're falling straight into exactly what you said.
But listen, I would not say that. And that's why I ask her a lot of questions. Like, okay, are you sure you said this? Like, because I don't want to give, if she's doing something wrong.
No. Finish what you're about to say.
Listen, let me
finish what you're about to say. You don't want to what?
I don't want to make assumptions that she's perfect.
Advice.
No, I was
That's not what she was saying.
I don't want to. It really wasn't.
Okay.
I was gonna say I don't want to make assumptions that she's always right. I check her too. I say, okay, well, did you show him that you were appreciating his gift? If she didn't, if she kind of downplayed something that he did, and I'm like, well, why? You said you wanted him to do this, then you should, show your appreciation.
But my point is that if he puts his foot down as a man and say, I want you to divest yourself from what we got going on until further notice, unless I contact you otherwise, would you remove yourself from their marriage and their friendship and their conversation? Because anything you do, anything you say, anything you say, any conversation that you have, even if it's not marriage related, it affects her. It affects how she goes home and interacts with her husband. If he says, I want you gone, will you remove yourself
from her life completely?
Yes.
No, I will not. And that's his job.
Actually, you at least got to take a break.
His job. I would step back and let her be clear-headed and decide what she thinks she needs to do. Maybe she feels like, let me cut Ashley off. First off, Anton, I don't really care what you have to say about me.
Hey, Ashley, I don't want you to take anything.
I didn't say anything about you.
I don't want you to take anything personally. I mean, this can.
I didn't say anything about you.
Yeah,
this can actually be like a learning experience for people that's watching right now. So I don't think that nobody is saying anything wrong that's speaking to you. Like they're not speaking to you per se. Even though you have said that you've done this, but I think this is learning that if other people are in other people's business, you got to sometimes step away. Even if you're friends with her, you got to step away and allow them to get things together.
I agree. So
whether you know it or not, you might have an influence on her. You may not realize it, but you might have an influence on her in some type of way. You might be telling her the things she want to hear.
No, but here's the thing. See, this is where you guys are making so many assumptions. It's so easy to say, oh, the single friend, she wants you to divorce. I want her to be married.
I'm not talking about that.
And when I talk to her, we pray for her husband. We pray for her that she.
He don't want your prayers. He wants you gone.
No, he doesn't. And see, this is what is so sick.
Women tell men all the time, like, all them single friends, I don't want you hanging around them. I don't want you hanging around them.
But to me, that's a man who is making assumptions about things. And for one thing, he wouldn't say that. He wouldn't say, I'm not some horrible influence on her. There's always the assumption that if you're single, you're bitter and you want.
How do you know you're not a horrible influence?
You never know what people say in their relationship. There are things you just never know what people
I'm not talking about what he. Okay, I'm saying for myself, I don't think that I'm being a negative influence on her. I tell her things that she can do to make her marriage work. I never say divorce.
How can you give somebody advice on marriage and you're not married?
First off, so that's a fallacy. Let me tell you why. You cannot wait until you get married to start having conversations about marriage. You cannot wait.
How can you give a married couple marriage advice and you're not married? It's a simple question.
I can because I have a certain level of wisdom that I can offer about just relationships. And
how?
What do you mean how? Because
that's like somebody that's 20 years old giving me life coach advice.
But see, that's where you're wrong. You can't wait till you're married to start preparing for marriage, Anton. Come on. There are some things that you should understand before you get married.
Come on.
And I think that you guys are really kind of assuming that I'm playing a role that I'm not.
I'm on my own, Ashley.
Do I
try to box me in with everybody else?
I listen to her, and for the longest time, I listened to her cry in my ear, and I just listened and I prayed with her. I said,
you should have said, "Go cry with your husband."
Anton, I have, but here's the thing: her husband is just like you, selfish, and think he has nothing to do. But
see, now the real feelings are coming out.
I didn't even say. Listen. I didn't say anything about you personally.
You don't like him. Now you tell you're not really down with him. So you
really got the last question. We're gonna move on to the next topic. Hold on, Rilla. Ashley, go ahead and say what you're gonna say, and then go to Rilla.
I mean, you keep saying, I have, and she has. What you're missing about relationships is that it really does take two. He has to do his part too, and he's not.
It takes two, but you're number three. That's
what I think you have to understand is that no matter what you say and how you feel, they got that bond, they got that vow that they had together. So if you're hinting or suggesting, or if he ain't doing what he's supposed to be, I understand. If you're doing any of that, then
it's an influence.
Praying on their downfall. Praying.
Saying. Is her husband? What is her husband like? Is he like me?
What do you mean?
You said he just like me.
Well, he's by you all's definition, a high value man.
You about to get her whole life messed up, Ashley.
He fits the resume.
Mess her whole life up.
He fits the resume of a good man. I'm not messing her life up. I have done nothing but encourage her.
Wait. Hold on.
I think Rilla wants to say something, y'all. Hold on.
You're gonna ruin her life, Ashley.
Hold on. Go ahead, Rilla.
He just said he fits the resume of a good man, and the whole time we've been having this conversation.
The resume. A resume does not tell you how a person really.
It's cool. I got you on that. That's not my question. But the whole conversation, you have kind of been like adamantly, not one time have you said anything adversely towards your friend. But when we say, or somebody brings up that you can run that tape back. As
I told you that I have pointed out when she's wrong. I told you
you have specifically said it takes two and he's not doing his part. My question is, how can you speak with such authority and confidence on what he is or is not doing if the only example that you have is what she's telling you?
Mm-hmm. That's the bias that you spoke of earlier, Ashley. Mm-hmm. You're falling straight into
You're
exactly
right.
what you said.
But listen, I would not say that. And that's why I ask her a lot of questions. Like, okay, are you sure you said this? Like, because I don't want to give, if she's doing something wrong.
No. Finish what you're about to say.
Listen, let me
finish what you're about to say. You don't want to what?
I don't want to make assumptions that she's perfect.
Advice.
No, I was
That's not what she was saying.
I don't want to. It really wasn't.
Okay.
I was gonna say I don't want to make assumptions that she's always right. I check her too. I say, okay, well, did you show him that you were appreciating his gift? If she didn't, if she kind of downplayed something that he did, and I'm like, well, why? You said you wanted him to do this, then you should, show your appreciation.